Talk family, and welcome back to another episode of Talk the Talk. I'm your host, Desh Bechin, and joining me today is Lianne Glover, and she is the Group Parts Manager at Maritime Group in Port Elizabeth. Yes, you heard me right. This is not our studio. We are in Port Elizabeth. Lianne is an enthusiastic, self-motivated, reliable and responsible, and also a very hardworking person. She is a mature team worker and adaptable to all challenging situations. She thrives on continuous success, and she enjoys challenges that helps in hers and her team's growth. She is able to work well under pressure and adheres to strict deadlines. Now, I've spent some time with her off air, obviously. We've been walking around her beautiful premises. She's amazing, such a welcoming person. And it's these type of women that we want to welcome into our network. She is also a nominee for the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards. She's a finalist actually, so please go and vote for her. And without further ado, let's welcome Lianne. And as always, this interview is proudly brought to you by Sariti Solutions, MFC, and Evo by Nedbank. Hi Lianne.
Hi Desh.
Okay, I was going to say earlier on that, wow, every time I greet you, it just feels so good because you have this lovely aura about you. You greet people with such love, such passion, and really you are such a beautiful person inside. I'm really, really glad that you are part of this movement. Thank you.
Thank you, Desh.
Thank you for having me here in
Thank
your
you for
lovely
coming all the way to PE.
You're welcome, you're welcome. Bring me back, okay?
Sure.
Okay. So, Lianne, obviously we want to get some votes for you, okay? But that is not why we're here. We are here for you to share your story with our viewers in terms of how you got to where you are in the motoring trade. Where did the journey begin?
Sure. The journey began 22 years ago when I started with a dealership as an admin clerk in the vehicle stock books office. So that was stocking cars, licensing of vehicles, and my DP then just gave me wings. He really promoted me. He just said to me, you know, do what you can, and he let me grow. And it was really, really awesome. So I made supervisor within 8 months, and I stayed in that department for 6-7 years. But while in that department, as the business grew and as the OEM's requirements changed, so my position changed. And eventually in 2010, I applied for the parts assistant manager's position. And 2 years later, I was parts manager. And now I'm a group parts manager.
That's amazing.
So hard work, dedication. Never say that's not my job.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. Lianne, obviously you accepted this nomination because you recognize the fact that this is not only about the award itself or receiving the award, but that we are creating a movement for women. How do you feel about these platforms?
I think acknowledging women in the workplace and in the motor industry is so important. When I started in this industry 22 years ago, there were only ladies in the back office. There were no ladies at the top. There were no ladies running in the front. And I think that the more we empower women, the more women will realize that they can achieve what they would like to achieve. I think it's important to acknowledge that women can grow and that women have a place.
And why do you think, though, that women do well in the motoring trade, and especially in a position like yours?
Multitasking. I think that women multitask really, really well, and women are natural problem solvers.
Yeah.
So we tend to ask a lot of questions. We get down to the nitty gritty and we listen. And I think that's why. Women do well. Yeah.
And tell me, Has there been a time, okay, that you had to solve a problem in a unique or unusual way, and what was the outcome? Were you satisfied with the results? And the reason I'm asking this, I mean, in parts, the work that you are doing, anything can go wrong. I mean, parts go missing, and it's a challenging job when these things happen. Is there any way? How do you sort this out? The reason I'm asking, there are many ladies coming up the ranks in the parts department, and we could maybe help someone that's listening.
So I think that parts is exceptionally challenging, and everything goes wrong because there's so much that's out of your hands, so much out of your control. But the one thing that we can really rely on is a strong team. And we hit a bit of a snag with our team earlier this year. We had some, it wasn't gelling.
Yeah.
The team wasn't gelling, and we have phases to our department. So we have an admin team, we have sales, and we have warehousing. And we just found that the teams weren't collaborating the way they needed to for it to really work. And we called a Saturday training session. And it wasn't training, it was playing. So we had some card games going, we had some drawing games going, but we teamed sales with warehouse, sales with warehouse, sales with warehouse, back to back, guys really getting into it. And we just spent an entire morning of just playing communication games. And I tell you what, it was so awesome, because the outcome, by the time we got to the end of that, the guys were going, we should do this more often. And that was, that's perfect. And really, we haven't had any niggles since then. So I think people forget to talk, forget to talk to one another.
Absolutely.
And if your team if you've got any internal fighting, your team can't progress. There has to be the camaraderie and an understanding of where everyone stands, So
what does success mean to you?
Sure, the list is endless. So I suppose I have a beautiful family, and the fact that I can provide for them and that we have a good life, that is probably the essence of my success. That is what drives me. Is I do what I do, and I do it from a point of passion. The saying, if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life.
Absolutely.
And that's what we need to strive for. We come to work. I'm a bit of a workaholic. So we come to work and we get things done, and if there are problems, you resolve them, and that's success.
So, Lianne, how many people report to you?
24 people.
Wow, and how does that work for you?
Can you see my grey hair?
I mean, you're a phenomenal leader, and at work you become the mom. So
100%.
how do you do this?
Some days really well, and others not so great.
Okay.
We have good days and bad. I'm fortunate. I've got an awesome team, and I've got a lovely group of people who work closely together. So yeah, it's about keeping your door open. Right. It's about being available. It's about listening.
Okay.
It really is.
What does a group part manager do?
What doesn't she do?
Yes, what doesn't. But I think just briefly explain so that our viewers can know what to expect if they want to transition into a role like yours.
All right, so there's a lot of paperwork involved.
So I'm literally relaxing back. I know it's going to take time. I'm just kidding.
There's a lot of paperwork involved. We work with multi-franchises, so we have a lot of OEMs that we answer to. So you have a lot of monthly reporting, but it's to have a really good understanding of the parts department, the logistics of that, the requirements of your customers. I don't know if you can explain it in a couple of minutes, to be honest, but it's an availability, it's a supply and demand scenario. So if you don't have it, you can't sell it. And I suppose, the understanding what each OEM requires, each of their policies and procedures, and answering to all of your customer base. So, from parts coming into your parts department to being sold, to leaving, to being delivered. There's logistics involved, so it's quite, it keeps you busy.
Lianne, any advice for young girls that want to join our trade?
As long as you're prepared to work hard.
Yeah.
So it's a very rewarding trade. It's very fast moving. This trade is absolutely ever changing, and the customer demand is immense. So put on your big girl panties and get moving. And honestly, you cannot, if you want to climb that ladder, you cannot have a not job. You need to be able to think out the box. You need to be able to think on your feet. There will be lots of people who will tell you that you can't. You need to believe in yourself. Absolutely need to believe in yourself, and discipline. Absolute self-discipline.
How do you feel about women standing together?
It has to be. You absolutely have to support one another, and you have to promote one another. You know, I'm very much for building people. You have to build people. You have to give them skills, and the best way to do that is to take what you know and hand it to somebody else if they want it.
How do you feel about your group? It's Maritime Motors.
It's a lovely group. So I've been here for nearly 6 years. Family-owned business. We have become more and more corporate over the last short years. Busy, very determined, we are going places.
Is it and the culture of the company?
Hard work.
Okay.
Hard work.
All right. So I'd like to say thank you to you for inviting us to spend some time with your family, and I wish you all the luck and all the best. You're already a winner, and we appreciate your contribution to our platform. Thank you.
Thank you.
Viewers, we would like to thank you for your continued support and encourage you to like and share our content. Our non-profit companies, the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards, powered by MFC and Evo by Nedbank, and the Talk Studios, sponsored by Sariti Solutions and Evo by Nedbank, are platforms aimed at empowering, uplifting, and celebrating the women of motoring South Africa. We are not just telling stories, we are changing lives. If you are searching for a new or pre-owned vehicle, please visit www.auto.evo.africa. We have a wide range of vehicles on sale for you to choose from, and we only advertise on behalf of reliable and trustworthy MFC accredited dealerships. This car listing portal is user-friendly, and you can also find vehicle reviews, car maintenance tips, and automotive advice, all courtesy of Talk Studios. Ladies, today I would like to talk to you about doubt. Now, doubts in your mind are a much greater roadblock to success than obstacles on the journey. You might think that you are not good enough or strong enough, but if you push through and look back, in the end you will be proud of yourself for never giving up. Remember to never doubt yourself. You are capable of amazing things. And with that, I would like to remind you that the question should never be who's going to let me. It should always be who's going to stop me.